2 Samuel chapter 23. Now these are the last words of David. David the son of Jesse says, the man who was raised on high says, the anointed of the God of Jacob, the sweet psalmist of Israel. Yahweh's Spirit spoke by me. His word was on my tongue. The God of Israel said, the Rock of Israel spoke to me. One who rules over men righteously, who rules in the fear of God, shall be as the light of the morning when the sun rises, a morning without clouds, when the tender grass springs out of the earth, through clear shining after rain. Isn't my house so with God? Yet he has made with me an everlasting covenant, ordered in all things, and sure, for it is all my salvation and all my desire, while he make it grow, that all the ungodly will be as thorns to be thrust away, because they can't be taken with the hand. The man who touches them must be armed with iron and the staff of a spear. They will be utterly burned with fire in their place. These are the names of the mighty men whom David had: Josheb-Bathsheba the Tachimonite, chief of the captains. He was called Adino the Eznite, who killed 800 at one time. After him was Eleazar the son of Dodai, the son of an Ahohite, one of the three mighty men with David when they defied the Philistines who were there gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel had gone away. He arose and struck the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand froze to the sword, and Yahweh worked a great victory that day. And the people returned after him only to take plunder. After him was Shammah the son of Agee, Hararite. The Philistines had gathered together into a troop where there was a plot of ground full of lentils, and the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the middle of the plot and defended it, and killed the Philistines, and Yahweh worked a great victory. 3 of the 30 chief men went down, and came to David in the harvest time to the cave of Adullam. And the troop of the Philistines was encamped in the valley of Rephaim. David was then in the stronghold, and the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. David said longingly, O that someone would give me water to drink from the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate. The 3 mighty men broke through the army of the Philistines, and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. But he would not drink of it, but poured it out to Yahweh. He said, Be it far from me, Yahweh, that I should do this. Isn't this the blood of the men who risked their lives to go? Therefore he would not drink it. The 3 mighty men did these things. Abishai, the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief of the 3. He lifted up his spear against 300 and killed them, and had a name among the 3. Wasn't he most honorable of the 3? Therefore he was made their captain. However, he wasn't included as one of the 3. Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done mighty deeds, killed the 2 sons of Ariel of Moab. He also went down and killed a lion in the middle of a pit in the time of snow. He killed a huge Egyptian, and the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with a staff and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and killed him with his own spear. Benaiah the son of Jehoiada did these things, and had a name among the 3 mighty men. He was more honorable than the 30, but he didn't attain to the 3. David set him over his guard. Asahel the brother of Joab was one of the 30, and Hanan the son of Dodo of Bethlehem, Shammah the Harodite, Elika the Harodite, Helez the Poltite, Ira the son of Ikish the Tekoite, Abizur the Anathotite, Nebaniah the Hushathite, Salmon the Ahohite, Maharai the Netophathite, Heleb the son of Bana the Netophathite, Ida the son of Ribai of Jibah of the children of Benjamin, Benaiah a Perthonite, Hidai of the brooks of Gash, Abielbin the Arbathite, Asmaveth the Barhumite, Eliabah the Sholbanite, the sons of Jashin, Jonathan, Shammah the Hararite, Ahim the son of Shura the Ararite, Eliphalet the son of Ahasbai, the son of the Machathite, Elim the son of Ahithophel the Gilonite, Hezro the Carmelite, Parai the Arbite, Higel the son of Nathan of Soba, Bani the Gadite, Selek the Ammonite, Naharai the Beerothite, armor bearers to Joab the son of Zeruiah, Ira the Ithrite, Gareb the Ithrite, and Uriah the Hittite, 37 in all. 2 Samuel chapter 24. Again Yahweh's anger burned against Israel, and he moved David against them, saying, Go, count Israel and Judah. The king said to Joab the captain of the army, who was with him, Now go back and forth through all the tribes of Israel, from Dan even to Beersheba, and count the people, that I may know the sum of the people. Joab said to the king, Now may Yahweh your God add to the people, however many they may be, 100 times, and may the eyes of my lord the king see it. But why does my lord the king delight in this thing? Notwithstanding, the king's word prevailed against Joab and against the captains of the army. Joab and the captains of the army went out from the presence of the king to count the people of Israel. They passed over the Jordan and encamped in Aroer, on the right side of the city that is in the middle of the valley of Gad. And the Jazer, then they came to Gilead and to the land of Tadam-Hach, and they came to Dan-Jan and around to Sidon, and came to the stronghold of Tyre, and to all the cities of the Hivites and of the Canaanites, and they went out to the south of Judah at Beersheba. So when they had gone back and forth through all the land, they came to Jerusalem at the end of 9 months and 20 days. Joab gave up the sum of the counting of the people to the king, and there were in Israel 800,000 valiant men who drew the sword, and the men of Judah were 500,000 men. David's heart struck him after he had counted the people. David said to Yahweh, I have sinned greatly in that which I have done. And now, Yahweh, put away, I beg you, the iniquity of your servant, for I have done very foolishly. When David rose up in the morning, Yahweh's word came to the prophet Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and speak to David. Yahweh says, I offer you 3 things. Choose one of them, that I may do it to you. So Gad came to David and told him, saying, Shall 7 years of famine come to you in your land? Or will you flee 3 months before your foes while they pursue you? Or shall there be 3 days pestilence in your land? Now answer, and consider what answer I shall return to him who sent me. David said to God, I am in distress. Let us fall now into Yahweh's hand, for his mercies are great. Let me not fall into man's hand. So Yahweh sent a pestilence on Israel from the morning even to the appointed time, and 70,000 men died of the people from Dan even to Beersheba. When the angel stretched out his hand toward Jerusalem to destroy it, Yahweh relented of the disaster, and said to the angel who destroyed the people, It is enough. Now withdraw your hand. Yahweh's angel was by the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. David spoke to Yahweh when he saw the angel who struck the people, and said, Behold, I have sinned, and I have done perversely. But these sheep, what have they done? Please let your hand be against me, and against my father's house. Gad came that day to David and said to him, Go up, build an altar to Yahweh on the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. David went up according to the saying of Gad, as Yahweh commanded. Araunah looked out, and saw the king and his servants coming out toward him. Then Araunah went out and bowed himself before the king with his face to the ground. Araunah said, Why has my lord the king come to his servant? David said, To buy your threshing floor, to build an altar to Yahweh, that the plague may be stopped from afflicting the people. Araunah said to David, Let my lord the king take and offer up what seems good to him. Behold, the cattle for the burnt offering, and the threshing sledges, and the yokes of the oxen for the wood. All this, O king, does Araunah give to the king. Araunah said to the king, May Yahweh your God accept you. The king said to Araunah, No, but I will most certainly buy it from you for a price. I will not offer burnt offerings to Yahweh my God, which cost me nothing. So David bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. David built an altar to Yahweh there, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. So Yahweh was entreated for the land, and the plague was removed from Israel.